Hi, this is Jason Most with InRoads Credit Union, and tonight we are DIY with InRoads. I'm super excited for tonight's paint night with Hope Wirta, Art with Hope. We're going to get a little spooky. We had a beautiful fall day. She has an awesome autumn artistic opportunity for you tonight. So for those of you that are tuning in live, we do have a supply list that you can reference on inroadscu.org/DIY. You can grab that supply list and follow along, or you can just tune in and watch tonight. And then you can always revisit it because we'll upload this video to that same URL, inroadscu.org/DIY, and you can watch this video and follow along later. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Hope Wirta. Hope?
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us tonight. I'm really excited to paint this. This has been a very, very popular painting. We're going to do a cute little black kitty with a harvest moon background. So have fun with that. Some of you might know me from paint events. You've probably seen me around town. I have a fun little studio out in Scappoose where we do paint events 3 or 4 times a month, and then you've probably seen me around town. We do paint events at restaurants and bars and things like that. So if you love to paint, oh, don't forget the Rec Center, St. Helens Rec Center all the time. Some of you probably did this painting there. So we're going to go ahead and paint this little kitty, super easy, and I want to show you a really fun trick that kids love. In a little bit, I'm going to show you one that my grandson did when he was 8, because this technique can be used for a lot of fun things. So what I'm going to do to start out here is I'm going to take just a little this is just a little styrofoam bowl. You can use any round object to do this, but I'm going to do this because it's just the size of the harvest moon that I want here. And then just a colored piece of chalk. Chalk is awesome when you're painting because it wipes off later. You can paint over it. So you can even draw once you've done your background. You can draw on things with chalk. It's super easy, fun to use. So that's some chalk. I'm going to be using acrylic paint here for those of you who have or haven't used acrylic paint. Acrylic paint is water-based. So I have some water. And I just have several sizes of brushes here. A couple of flat brushes, beep, beep, and a round brush. But we're really just going to be mostly using a big flat brush and probably our round brush today. So this is going to be our moon, and we're going to shade it in. The fun thing with this technique is you get to paint outside the lines. And how many times do people tell you not to paint outside the lines? This is the chance for you to paint outside the lines as much as you want. So you can see I have a little bit of brown paint there. And then I'm mixing a little bit of yellow and red. Now, for those of you who have painted with me before, you know the rule. Red is bossy. So we don't use very much red. But we're going to shade the bottom of this moon with some nice, pretty orange blended in with that brown. Because that's going to be the bottom of our moon. And we're going right outside those lines, like I told you I would. I'm not going to wash my brush, but I am, as I go up, just going to grab more yellow. We're just going to keep working our way up this moon, shading it lighter as we go. See how pretty that gets? And we just want to make sure we go outside those lines. I have done this technique when I'm doing just a white moon or with a solar system. All kinds of fun things you can do with this technique, and it comes out so cool in 3D as long as you keep this pretty little smile shape going. See how we're doing this fun little smile shape here? As long as you have dark on one side and light on the other, and you keep the fun little smile shape going, you're going to get this cool, fun 3D technique. Now I'm adding a little bit of white to my yellow, and look at how that top is going to be so bright and pretty. And that's what our moon's going to look like. Now I'm going to let this dry just for a second. Try to not let it get too thick here. Normally at this point I'd use a blow dryer, but didn't think that would be very fun for you. So I'm going to let it dry here just for a second while I show you what else you can do with this technique. Because once we're done, this is one my grandson did when he was about 8 years old. See how fun in 3D those planets look? And that one was a toilet paper roll, that one was a little cup. Anything with a nice round top, you're going to be able to put over these and it creates that really fun 3D effect. This one here, I did just a regular moon. I think it's on my YouTube channel. But I used just a paper plate to do this one. And it was just a great big moon, and I did this exact technique. So once you play with this technique, it's really fun because you can do all kinds of fun things with it. I don't think that's quite dry yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and start on the background, which is gonna be black. And then as I get up to it, we'll go ahead and do our little bowl technique. So I'm gonna grab just black paint. Our whole background is gonna be black on this painting. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on the background here.
So Hope, I just want to remind our viewers to chime in with any comments or questions along the way. We'll be looking at those in the chat and answering as we go along today.
Absolutely. And this painting too, if you want to paint it in person, I have 2 opportunities next week at the studio. So if you're watching and you're thinking, I just really want to do it in person, I'm scared to try it by myself, we have some time at the studio where we'll be doing this one, so feel free to come on by. But there also probably will be on the YouTube channel next month, so you can DIY it here, you can hop on the YouTube channel, anywhere. It's really lots of fun opportunities to paint. And you know what, if you're thinking, I just want an inexpensive fun thing to do, you can get canvases at the dollar store and paints and all kinds of things and make a whole solar system. I'm going to take this bowl here, I'm going to hope this is dry enough, and I'm going to pop it right over where that moon was. Normally I would do this flat, and if you were painting this, I would highly suggest you do it flat on a table. We're going to take our chances here. And I'm going to paint right around that bowl, and you can see it wasn't quite dry, but I think we'll still get a good effect here. We're going to go right around this bowl. Maybe we'll get a fun little haze around our moon. Do something a little different. Normally you would want this absolutely positively dry, but we don't want to take that much time today. Just want to show you how to do it. So I'm going to paint around the bowl. Now here's what's important on this part. You want to make sure that when you're close to whatever you're using for your round object, that it's not too watery. You may have noticed I haven't really picked up much water as I'm painting. Heavy body acrylic doesn't require a lot of water. And when you're doing this, especially around the bowl, you don't want to use a lot of water because you don't want it to seep underneath. You want to get a nice round look around your moon here. So we'll see how I do with it, not flat on a table, but it's more about you learning the technique. I'm not worried about being absolutely perfect. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish the black around here. Almost done. And then we're going to make stars. And stars are so much fun. What we're going to do to make our stars is we're going to water down some white paint, and then we're going to use a toothbrush to flick them all around. And that's the most fun part, especially if you have somebody next to you that you want to flick with stars. We've had lots of people walk away with stars in their hair. Okay. So there's our background. I'm going to pop this into the water, and I'm going to grab this fun little toothbrush, grab some water here, and I'm just using a paper plate here. I have one hidden underneath. Look at that, magic trick. And I'm going to grab some white paint. And when I make stars, I want to water down my paint quite a bit because I want it to fly freely. I'm going to try not to get the InRoads background here. And you want to keep your bowl or your plate on here while you're flicking stars because you don't want stars on your moon. That would be weird. So we're going to create some stars here all over. So think if you were making a solar system, how fun this is. And you can make stars really close in, kind of make it look like a Milky Way. Add some pink and purples in there. Now let's see how this works standing up. We're going to pull this off, and we should have a fun 3D moon. So think how fun that is when you're making fun little solar systems or any other things. Now we want to put a kitty in front of this moon, so this is really fun and easy. We're going to go ahead and create a fence. So I'm going to take just another flat brush here, and we're going to learn a fun color mixing technique. If you want to make brown out of primary colors, you can take yellow, a little bit of red, because remember the rule, red is bossy. And then we're gonna take just a little bit of black and we're gonna add those together. A little more red, it looks like.
Speaking of red is bossy, if you know somebody in your life that's bossy, put their name in the chat right now.
So there we have a nice brown, and we're gonna add a little bit of white to that. I think that's the brown I want. And I'm gonna take my brush and I'm gonna do half black and half brown on the brush at the same time. And I'm gonna make a line just straight across. This is where you have to be brave. I think I want a little bit lighter brown color there. So I'm gonna add some more brown there. That's better. And I'll grab some of that too. There we go. And a little bit of black. And now we're gonna create a fence. And this brush is about 1 inch. So I'm just gonna make these fun little lines straight down. Add a little bit of extra brown here. So it shows up pretty good. But we're gonna make a fun fence here for our cat to sit on. And you kind of want that to be streaky. I'm cheating and using my other brown for the sake of time here.
Well, I hope Heather's not talking about me when she says Jason is bossy, but
Heather.
It must be another Jason in your life, Heather.
Miss Epperly, is that our Heather?
No, Parmley.
Oh, Farnway, hello. Thanks for joining. He can be bossy. You should have seen him before we got over here. He's so bossy. You know Jason. Almost there. I think I want it a little streakier here. And we're gonna make a fun fence, and you can go up and down with this. I'm gonna put a little bit of highlight on the fence, but we're gonna have a kitty sitting on this fence. Now, I like to make my kitty so that her head's right about there. So I'm gonna take my round brush. This part's really fun because you might feel intimidated by drawing an animal, but when we do this, you're gonna realize how fun and easy it is. So I'm gonna grab some black paint. Now, the main part of my kitty is gonna be a triangle. So this is gonna be Kitty's body sitting on the fence, and I'm just gonna fill that in with black paint here. So that's my cat's body. And then I'm gonna go ahead and make Kitty's head, and I want it tilted to the side a little bit because I just think that's cute and fun. So I'm gonna make a little bit of a U shape, just about like that. My moon's still a little bit wet there. And I'm gonna make a little bit of a U shape there, and then I'm gonna just fill that in. And then I'm gonna make some little triangles for ears. And they're gonna stick out just a tiny bit there. One over here, another little triangle. And then we're gonna bring his head up just a little bit. Now, we want our cat to look fuzzy. So I'm gonna take this round brush, and the round brush has a little tip to it there. So we're gonna use that, and we're just gonna put little bits of fur all around our kitty, just to make him look furry. And you wanna think about the cat's face when you're doing this. Like this fur would probably go down a little bit, and this fur would probably come up. But we're gonna just go all around our kitty and make him furry. And I'm just barely touching the canvas with my brush here. I'm just gonna go all the way around. I think I'm going too fast. This isn't gonna take anywhere near 45 minutes.
It's okay.
You guys can slow this down, you can replay it, you can do it as many times as you want. And if you have questions about the kind of paint I'm using, or canvas, or brushes, go ahead and pop those on there. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Maybe we need a name for this kitty. You guys want to name the kitty?
Yeah, put your kitty name in the comments.
The other fun thing you could do, if you have a cat at home and you're thinking, I want to make it look like my cat, well then you can do that too. So now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with our kitty body. We're going to go ahead and put little black furs just right down on our kitty body. And we're going to bring his little tushy down below the fence there. And then we're going to make a kitty tail. So kitty tail, we're going to make just an upside down J. Oh, he's cute. Thank you. Comes out different every time I do it, so they all look a little different. So our kitty tail is going to be a J. So I'm just going to take it right here in the middle and bring it around and come up there. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to just bring our little brush and bring a little fur all the way up and around This is such a fun little Halloween painting you guys can do. It could be a good family project. Hop over. Walmart also has really great prices on canvas and paint and different things. So, and this one doesn't really need much. You could even just use craft paint if you want to. Or you could get really crazy and paint a mural on your wall. Big cat moon on your wall.
That would be awesome.
Your parents, kids are watching, parents would love it. Go for it. Jason's like, no. And there we go. That's our fun little kitty. So I think we need to put a little bit of highlight on our fence so it looks like the moon is shining on it. So I think I'm going to take that same round brush and a little bit of orange paint that I created with the yellow and the red, add a little bit of white to it, and I think I'm just going to do a little bit of highlight here on our fence. So it looks like there's a little bit of moon glow there. And I think that's fun. Then we just need to sign it. What do you think?
Looks good.
All done? Maybe a little bit of black right up in here. Or that would kind of, I was worried that wasn't going to work, but it did. And then I'm going to take a little bit, I think I'll sign it in yellow here, just down at the bottom. And there we go. That's how you make a really fun 3D moon or solar system or anything else that you want to make. And you can use you can use cups, you can use jars, whatever you want to do it. So there you go. DIY your own solar system or moon.
So Hope, where do you get canvases and some of your paints?
Yeah, so I do a lot of Amazon shopping because I like to buy my paints in, I have some over here, I can show you real quick. So I like Sax paint, it's S-A-X True Flow Heavy Body, and I get this on Amazon. It's about the only place I've been able to find it, and I get it in a 6-pack. So I like that. Canvases, I actually get at Michael's if you can buy them in bulk. So I buy $500 worth at a time in bulk, and then I have a shed that I keep them in. I like 16 by 20 canvases. I use those a lot. So yeah, so this is 11 by 14. So normally I get the larger ones, but you can get them in 7-packs, 5-packs. Brushes, I get all over the place. So I go through so many brushes and they get so beat up that I buy them anywhere and everywhere. I can find them on sale, but I do have my fun special ones for myself. But paper plates, I get those on Amazon. I buy them by 300. Yeah, does that answer that question?
I think so. And how do you wash your brushes?
Yeah, so you can see right now these are in water. What I usually do, like I don't want to leave them in water too long because what happens is the little hairs separate and they start coming out of here, which is not so good. I use Dawn dish soap. I usually just put a puddle of Dawn dish soap in my hand, and then you kind of want to wiggle the brush this way because the paint gets down in here. So I try to wash them, usually after a paint event. We soak them in a little bit of Dawn dish soap and then give them a really good scrub, and then I just dry them flat because the way they dry is the way they're going to be. So if they're bent or funky, you want them to dry absolutely flat. So that's how I wash my brushes.
Awesome. And Amy's asking, what's your website and how can we find out how to sign up for more classes?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. So Facebook page is called Art with Hope. You can hop on there or you can type in my name and it will show up. My last name is spelled W-I-R-T-A, so Hope Wirta. My website is hopewirta.com, easy peasy. Or you can type in artofhopestudios.com, it'll pop up both ways. But Facebook has the events that we're having, so I usually list them out by the month. We have several private events in November, a couple of Christmas shows coming up at the rec center. We are doing a fun snowman with sponges. It's almost all done with sponges, so kid-friendly, so much fun. So yeah, hop on there. I would love to see you at a show, Amy. We have a good time.
And you mentioned earlier that you have a YouTube channel.
I do.
How can people find you on YouTube?
That is also Art with Hope. You can type in my name, Hope Wirta, and it'll pop up there as well. But there's tutorials on there. We do all kinds of fun things on there. So I think I just put one on how to paint a droplet. People are always asking how to paint water droplets. So yeah, that is my YouTube channel. Trying to get lots of content on there, but you know.
Cool. Well, if anyone else has questions for Hope, just put them in the chat and the comments below. Hope, while we're waiting for other questions or comments, do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got started painting, how you started this business, and just give us a little background in history.
Yeah, I am happy to do that. It's kind of funny because I never thought of myself as really an artist, or I like to draw cartoons and things, till about 5 years ago, and I was looking for a hobby. I mean, how many times do we say, I just need a hobby of my own, something to do? So I went to the store, I bought a pack of acrylic paints and a canvas, and I started painting and quickly realized how much I loved it. I went to a couple of paint shows, one down in Portland for a friend's birthday, and thought, this is so much fun. So I watched YouTube channels. I mean, what a great way to learn anything these days is YouTube channels. So how to mix paints, how to use acrylic paint. I started painting with oils and watercolors, and it just consumed my thinking. I was finding myself going to sleep at night, like, how would I paint that? Or how would I get the depth in that? And then I started doing paint events about 1.5 years, 2 years after I started painting, and you guys are amazing. I look forward to paint events so much. Hanging out with you guys, hearing your jokes, watching you flick each other with stars. We have such a good time, and it's become an amazing community. So never dreamed that would happen, but blessing after blessing. It's been great. So love it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Did I answer all your questions? Sorry.
I think so. Yeah. We have several people that are tuned in, and not a lot of other questions. I think you answered everything.
Yeah.
We got a couple jokesters like Heather in there saying that I didn't say please, and that's why I was being bossy. But yes. So yeah, I want to say thank you, Hope, for being here with us tonight on a special edition of DIY with InRoads. I know that I'm going to take this back to my family and hopefully do some painting with my daughter, and maybe we can even join you for one of your paint night events.
Oh, I hope you do. So much fun.
That would be amazing.
Fun to hang out. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening and have fun painting.
So again, thank you, Hope, for tonight. This is amazing. I didn't think that this painting could happen so quickly, but it did, and it does. And so for all of you that tuned in, thank you. Thank you for tuning in to DIY with InRoads. We have another episode coming up the third Wednesday in November. If you've missed any of our previous episodes or seasons, we have them all uploaded on inroadscu.org/DIY. You can go check out all the episodes from season 1, the episodes from season 2 so far, including Hope's episode tonight if you tuned in late. There's also material lists and PDFs uploaded to that website for you to grab, so you can ensure that you have the paints and the canvas and everything that you need to follow along. You can also go to Hope Wirta's YouTube channel, her Facebook, and her website to learn more about Art with Hope. So again, from all of us at InRoads Credit Union and Art with Hope, thank you for tuning in tonight, and please stay safe and healthy out there.